Hey everybody, welcome to another fantastic episode of Unsealed and Revealed. Clap, everybody clap. Everybody, all of you clap. My name is Jeff May. I'm so excited to be your host here. To my left, your right, of course, is Bree on the ones and twos, and she will be taking your questions, comments, and concerns live on Facebook and YouTube. So don't be afraid to ask any questions that you have from my man over here, 6-scale expert and my fantastic co-host, Guy Klender. Guy, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Can't wait to show this one off.
I am really excited about it. You can probably see right next to Guy that we have an amazing piece to go over today. We have the Hot Toys 6-scale Endgame Thanos piece. I am so excited. I can't believe we got this piece already. I'm so stoked to have you go through it. First thing I want to say before you get down to it, Guy, is this thing is massive.
It's huge.
It is really, really big. I'm really stoked on that. So again, as we are going through this, please, please, please don't forget to ask your questions and give your comments to Bree. She will relay them to either myself or to Guy, and we will go through that. So Guy, without further ado, I'm going to need you to dive into that piece.
All right, here we are. Okay, so this is our Endgame Thanos collectible, 1/6. He is massive. He is in scale with the rest of the figures. So he is big. Let's take a first look at the outer box. Okay, so we've got very nice artwork of the helmeted armor that he is in when he appears coming back through.
That's inevitable armor right there.
Exactly, the inevitable armor. But in the background, you've got that kind of wisping away look. The Avengers A in there wraps around. You see that A kind of continues around to where it does Thanos. If we can pull back a little further, maybe not, you'll see up in the top there's a little gold foil embossed of the Gauntlet and an Avenger A down on the bottom. And that is a die cut slip cover, and you'll see when we take that off a little later how that is. All of your instructions, warnings,
all the rules.
All the rules and regulations. On the other side, it also has that, but let's take a look when we pull back. That's what I mean by the die cut.
Oh, cool.
All right. So, let's
And we get credits.
Yep.
I love that. Is there a post-credit scene to this?
Post-credit scene on the figure. All right. There's going to be all of your, the cast and crew.
Yeah. Guy, we need to know, by the way, I peeked at Bree's screen right here. Joe back home is asking, what'd you do to prep for this one?
Oh, well, I had to watch Endgame for the 23rd time.
Of course you did.
And
I love that you'll carve out like a 4-hour chunk of your day.
Yeah,
so you can be like, well, I got to get ready for this.
I got to get ready for the show. But, there are certain ones you don't have a problem with, with watching again. So here we go. Nice, bright purple color, and there is your inner box.
That's
there.
Thanos.
Okay, I'm going to take this down. We're going to take it out of the inner box and begin to discuss. The gold embossed version of the Gauntlet that we saw is repeated here on the front. All right, and out we go. This is a 2-tray.
Get them out of there, guys.
System again as well. So, yep, this is a lot of box and a lot of figure. Let's take.
Yeah, man, this thing is. This baby's. He's not small.
Yep. All right, let's show one of the armor exclusives that we have, and that is his big double-bladed sword. This thing is really.
His helicopter blade.
Really neat. All right, we're gonna pull that out, and I'm gonna put that on the turntable to show that off real quickly. It is in scale with him. It is massive.
Angle it up so we can.
We're going to angle it up because I want to show it different ways. I want to try and see if I can get Yep.
There it is.
Boom. Oh. What you can see is it's actually been done to kind of look like that hammered, almost like the Japanese folded steel throughout on the, and then you've got the sharpened blade, also done in kind of the grain of the sharpening. I'm going to hand this over to you while I work with Thanos because I do want you to see the detail.
I cut myself on that thing.
Well, and it does tell you in the instructions.
Oh, do they? Oh, Guy loves his instructions.
That there. One of my favorite things, I even like that, I told you about that, Infinity Gauntlet was on the side of the box, was on the front of the box. It's even on the back of the instruction sheet. Mm-hmm. Boom. This is going to tell you a little bit about him, about that we do have the head swap out, how to do the batteries in the gauntlet. We're going to get into that in a second. This is one big, massive piece.
Guy, is that piece perfectly balanced?
As all things
you tell me.
Should be.
You tell me, folks, it is indeed a perfectly balanced blade.
He spun it, and I was just like, danger! And I was like, it's still a toy, though.
It's really neat, and really, really well done. The look of the metal on it is not just a standard kind of silver or other. It's really, really neat with that.
That'll chunk through vibranium, from what I understand.
Yes, and I believe we may soon have a figure that we can make that display look that way. Okay, so if we look overhead, here is our top tray. All right, we are going to have our angered, more gridded, and our we'll say standard or more stoic.
We have standard and thangry.
Stoic portrait.
Thangry.
The helmet.
Because he's
our
Thanos.
Gauntlet.
No.
Articulated hand gauntlet. And then our additional hands. This does have quite a few more hands than the earlier release of the figure. All right, so Bree, let's throw this out to the audience, and if we don't hear immediately, we're going to ask Jeff and you to decide. Would you like to take a look at the figure first or the gauntlet first? Figure or gauntlet?
Figure or gauntlet? What do you think?
I
personally am looking toward.
We are getting some questions about how the blade fits into the hands, so maybe we should jump into the figure first.
Okay, let's jump into the figure. You're asking about the hands and how does it fit in, so let's do that right away. The hands that are going to come in the box are the tight closed fist. But on the turntable, I am going to set out our additional hands. All right? This is the first set of our right and left.
These hands are inevitable.
These are a gripping. And so these are going to be the ones that you're going to use for the blade, as he does carry this in both and battle with it with both right and left hand.
Ooh, what's funny is that one you just put, that one that your hands are on right there, it makes me feel uncomfortable, like he's going to grab my head.
Yes.
Just looking at that.
Just the holding.
I didn't expect to have that sort of a visceral experience by looking at the hand of a toy.
But you can always do that with your Captain or your Iron Man or something like that, and it does allow for that. So those are kind of a grasping, shall we say?
That looks like he's going for your dome.
And then, yes, it could be scalp massage.
I doubt it. He doesn't seem like a giver, you know?
And more of the open palm there, okay? All right, so the question was about...
Now it just looks creepy.
Yeah.
JJ says those hands are fantastic.
Now you guys are reacting to a Thanos pun.
I like it. All right, so let's take a look here. Here we go. Let's take a look, and you see that it is a soft and pliable. Now, it is a thicker amount because of how hefty his fingers are, but it is soft and pliable. I want you to take a look inside and see that it is molded in that purple color. However, obviously, some paint application has been done.
Yeah, man, that thing's like the size of the heads.
Yeah. When you have your Iron Man Robert Downey Jr. head sculpt, and you look at it and you go, "Ooh, isn't that neat?" That's usually about the size of it. Right. But anyway, what this is going to allow me to do is I do have a little bit of flexibility, and I'm going to pull those fingers back. You can also do it with the thumb to put our blade in. Now, I think it's probably something that you're going to leave with one of the hands on. Okay.
There you go.
But there we are, and let's take a look at how it looks being gripped. All right. So there we go on that. Since we've got the camera there, let's take a look at even the metal that is part of his armor over here, where it has that pitting and that dark kind of battle. bit of wear on
Yeah.
that, and that's really
Seen some battle.
Yeah, and that's a neat thing that this that they've done with this one. Yes.
Does the blade feel sharp?
Yes. Yes, it does. In fact, like I said, it does tell you in the instructions that it is sharp. I'm going to hand this over to Jeff because I want you to see, Jeff, while I pull the figure out, I do want you to take a look at...
It's a firm plastic, so I expected it to be more pliable. This is a firm...
No.
So it's not going to go anywhere. This isn't soft in a way that would make it sort of like sometimes you think things are going to bend. It is, you know, when you, I don't know if you can hear it. It's
a solid piece.
But it's relatively light. It's lighter than I expected.
It's not soft and malleable. That is a harder plastic in order to keep that nice flat edge. You're not going to get any droop when you pose it. Okay, let's take a look here. This is our figure stand for it. This is obviously a larger version than we are.
Oh damn, that thing's
with
huge.
the C stand there. It even has a little bit of a there you can see on the side a secondary support for the weight of the figure. All right, setting that up there, and now let's pull out our guy. All right, what they've done here, as you can see, they've added the foam here. They've added it on the back of the legs, and there's a few pieces of it that are put on the figure itself in packaging, so it will not be damaged at all. Now, he stands up great on his own, but I just want you to see how he is on the stand, and that's also going to give me a little bit of chance to spin it around.
I feel like his feet have enough surface area that he's going to
They do, and wait till you see the feet and the boots on this. Now, I talked about the bits of foam and how Hot Toys has protected the armor on that. When you remove the hands here, the wrist cover here, the gauntlet, can be removed, and there's a bit of foam underneath that, and that's just protecting for wear against the arm. Up here on the bicep wrap is a little bit of paper underneath. You can just drop that down and remove it. This and it does show you in the instructions as well. This is removable, and you can move it a little bit, and we can do that if we need. All right, so you're going to have two bits of foam that are there, but the other ones I wanted to show you are actually because of something neat they've done with it, and that is underneath the shoulder pauldrons there is a little bit of foam, and that's because these two are magnetic.
Oh, fun!
Now, what's great about it being magnetic like that is that's going to allow us to do those poses, then put it back on and not worry about rubbing or bumping or this, that, and the other. It's going to give us a little bit more range.
Gives you range, and then you can
range, exactly. So when I want to take, yes, Bree.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you. Do you know how tall this figure is with the stand?
You know what? I do not know with stand, I'm afraid. Okay. I do know that if you're looking for your standard display case, the IKEA ones, no, it's not going to fit in there. You're going to have to remove one of the shelves and have this stand as one of its own. Or I know the Billy ones offer, you can adjust those.
Without the stand, it's 16.38 inches.
So it's probably
that one I knew.
So it's about 18 inches. I'm guessing.
But he's a big dude, so he's not going to fit in those standard cases. But I know that there are other display units that a lot of people use, and he can fit in.
Plus, as Thanos, though, like you'd want him in, I'm guessing, a dominant position in your display.
Exactly.
Anyway.
He's definitely a big showpiece because of how big he is. So let's spin him around. Well, you know what? We're going to do one more thing to him, and we're going to completely dress him for that.
What's funny is I never get to play.
Yeah, now
I'm just sitting
you've got
here,
that. You're happy.
I'm just sitting here playing with this head,
with the hand and the blade.
And I'm like, I get to play with the toy now.
Now I'm going to set that down there, and we're going to show it off with it. This is the helmet that he comes with. Inside, there's going to be some foam. All right, and this is to protect it when it goes on, and it slides on there nice and easy. Not worried about it scratching at all.
So there would be no concern for possible paint wear?
Nope. In fact, they know that that's going to be a concern of yours, and that's why they've added the foam.
Okay.
Okay. It's a really great thing that they've done that. So if This is probably, I have a feeling, majority of times, and most of us will probably display it with the helmet on, and I am not concerned that that's going to have a paint rub or leave marks at all.
I think the only way I would think of a pose without the helmet would be like him sitting down outside, outside of
exactly. And we're gonna
Avengers.
see what we can do. We'll hint toward that and what we're able to do. But let's take a look at him and spin him around via our close-ups and really kind of show off that armor. This is would you say? I'd say more of an aged gold. It is that kind of beaten.
It's a weathered.
Yes, he has gone and conquered quite a few planetary systems before reaching Earth. So this is not the first time he's worn this outfit.
Yeah, we do have a couple people wanting to see the difference in size between this figure and a regular size.
And a 12-inch figure?
Yes.
Spectacular. Well, I have a wonderful co-host here who's going to be nice enough to...
Here you go.
There we go.
There you go. I figured
this
that would
will
be the most fitting choice, seeing as how you just
Mark
brought him
50
up.
Infinity. Can we get a straight on there? Now these are currently right next to each other.
Both on a stand.
Both on a stand. Right now, your Iron Man is under shoulder height. Okay, Iron Man comes up to just about that shoulder cap. So you've got about another 3 inches of figure.
Yeah, I would say even more than that almost.
Now
put Iron Man like directly in front of him.
Alrighty.
Like see how that goes, because I like that 50 is a good choice, I think, too, because of, so if you look there, so that I think gives a really good perspective of the actual size of this character.
Yes. It is massive.
I mean, unbelievably, like you don't expect it to be this big.
When you're talking about the scale, and we talked about the heads, I'm going to show off next to the Mark 50. That is Tony's head, and that is the alternate Thanos. Just,
Oof, it's got a big melon.
yeah. And this is without the helmet on as well.
He'd be hitting home runs, if you know what I mean.
We're getting quite a few questions.
Yes. Okay. Well, let's fire away with the questions. Jeff, can I hand you Mark 50?
Can I just have
Yeah,
this?
you can just play.
Can I just have this?
You can just play.
Can hold on to it.
All right. Please fire away with the questions.
So first we want to know how this size compares to the last Thanos from Infinity War. Is it similar size?
Yes, similar. Absolutely similar. But with that armor, it's got a little bit more girth, and it might be slightly taller based on the boot.
Okay.
But next to each other, they are going to look almost identical, naked eye, unless we get serious in our micro measurements. All right,
Okay.
but yes, it'll look very much the same.
I figure the helmet gives it a little bit of height. Right?
Next question.
We want to know if we can pose him with the blade to see how much weight it puts on the arm.
Okay, great. Want to see how much weight that puts on the arm. All right, well, let's take a look. This is, what's wild is when you've got a figure like this is to just see how big the joints are. And this is 6 scale. This isn't quarter scale, but that wrist peg right there is the
Isn't that
size
one
of a
for the
head
head
peg
ones?
on any of the other figures. But it is pretty darn cool. This is ratcheted. I don't know if you heard me there lifting the arm up. But
Yeah, you can hear the clicking in there. And that's really good, especially when you have an accessory of that size.
Yep.
Even though it's not heavy, but the ratcheting really does hold.
take a look at that. Oh. All right, I'm gonna remove that. Whoopsie. Sorry.
Wow, guy. Real
Mine
nice.
too.
What I want to do is kind of put it in front of him.
Yeah, this is such an intimidatingly sized piece.
Yeah.
Like, it's so...
It's like the size of a small child.
It is.
It is. It is. It is your small child
It's
size.
roughly infant size.
Also, on these, the two magnetic shoulder ones, there is an R and an L on there. So
But you know
if
which
you have
one.
them both off, you'll know how to put them back on. All right, and you won't worry that, oops, I got them in the wrong spot. But take a look. That's how big Do I need to move him even back? Maybe I should move him back closer to me, just to show the...
So are you having to move his waist back at all to balance out?
No. I didn't move him at all.
Yeah, it's interesting because I didn't the sword is relatively light, so it's not going to provide much.
Correct. Yeah, this is even though it looks like a large piece of metal, which is great. It is not. So it's not going to have a lot of weight. I don't have my little scale here, which I will bring from now on. But I would say this is an ounce, 2 maybe.
Yeah, it's not very heavy.
This is not very heavy at all, but you do see the very, very large scale of it. That blade itself is as tall as the Mark 50s. All right. Any other questions before we...
Yes.
Yes. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, this thing is nuts because normally we have like if I may, we have such a normal, like, smooth process of how we're doing this.
Yeah.
But because this thing elicits so many questions, like, we're going to get to everything, but please, ask
I
Glenn,
like
what
that
else you got?
because it just gets more time for me to play with my toy.
Well, we don't normally get this many questions so
Yes.
fast.
So please, go ahead.
The hip joints, we're wondering if we can look at the hip joints
Okay.
for anyone who's considering posing him
Yes.
sitting down.
All right. What I'd like to do is I do want to talk about the joints and the restrictions and this and the other. I want to go down the outfit because that's also going to tell you a little bit about what you can do as far as the posability. All right. Just for ease right now, I'm going to remove the bladed hand because I want everybody to see everything unobstructed at the moment.
Wow.
Okay. So for ease and because people were asking about balance and this and the other, I'm not going to put him back on the stand. I'm not concerned that I need to have him on the stand. In fact, the only time it would be just to kind of go with your continuous display. All right, so let's take a look from head down. Okay, amazing work as we've seen on the portrait, and we do have the 2 swap out portraits. Always a great thing in my opinion. Right up top, that helmet has a lot of great work to it. A lot of that armor. What I like is kind of a little bit of the pitting, a little bit of, be it space dirt, because it's a little bit different.
They did a good job with this in that it's still very shiny. It's seen action, but you know that he's so dominant that he's not getting wrecked. It's not like utterly beaten.
Yeah, this isn't ripped apart armor.
Not like if you were to look at like a Boba Fett, who's got all the dents,
serious dents and dings.
But he's just like, no man. Like sometimes people get close, but
but that's about all. Let's take a look down. This is all done out of a hard plastic, and this is all one piece. Okay, the upper chest area. Okay, that's going to limit a little bit of our mobility, but that's okay with me because he is imposing. He's not flying around in this a whole lot doing.
No.
He is just a menacing thing, and that's kind of what you want to see in the figure here. So we're going to work our way down. As I said, this is all one piece. These here up on the bicep, they have a little bit of give if you need to adjust them. All right, and that's because it does have that rubberized skin. When you bend it, your bicep is going to get a little bit more with that there.
It's called flexing.
Exactly. When he flexes, you can see I don't flex all that much. Working down here onto the wrist gauntlet. Got the blade back there. Again, just the incredible texture. We're seeing it in some really bright light, but when you see this, it's almost a bit of like a leathering on the under bits on that. All right. Then we're going to work our way down to the loincloth.
What is that loincloth made out of?
You
said it was very pliable.
Yeah, this is a pliable rubberized there. So we're going to kind of pull back, and we can see that. Rad. And that's going to allow us when we're going to do a few poses, and we will talk about those coming up. All right. Working our way down into the thigh ones there. I really like some of the beat look and the scratches in this one here. And then down onto the shin and the boot.
Hey, you're at a boot, huh?
Yep, we're at a boot.
It's a boot that time.
It's a boot that time. It's a boot that time, folks.
Why don't you flex that leg up a little bit and
let's flex up the leg and take a look.
Watch. Here, let it hit those lights. Angle him back up a little higher, please. Yeah, let the lights really catch.
Boom.
That is rad, man.
Now here's a cool part about it. I'm going to set the figure down to do this. In order to give him a little bit more range, particularly in that, these are also a ball jointed.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
Is that a
Alright.
first for...
Well, they've ball jointed, but it's never been, like I said, okay, again, let's take a look. The peg for the ball joint on this foot is bigger
massive,
than
yeah.
any of the head pegs
It's like a marble.
that you have on it. Yes, it's one of the smaller marbles. But this is going to show you the boot. All right, and I really dig this one here. It's kind of neat to see it as a shoe. I was hoping I would kind of get somebody would ask and I would get to show this off like this. Again, I really, really like the aging on the metal. Had it just been one solid color, still be cool.
I want this as a real shoe.
I think we will at some point get this as a real shoe. But you even get that bend in there. All right, so we get a little bit.
It's inevitable.
I like everything about what you're
Is
doing.
that not? Are we not doing that?
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And then, of course, the back. The reason this is nice to have it like that is anytime that we get more of the ball jointed
It's like a real ankle.
on the ankle, you're going to get more posability on it. And that's nice. Particularly on a figure like this where the armor is restrictive.
Yeah,
Where
it's
that
also
whole chest
very-
piece is a big thing like that. It's nice when other areas of it allow to kind
Do
of
a lot of the heavy lifting.
the heavy lifting, exactly. Bree, before we start to do any posing, talk to me. Is anybody asking specifics?
Specifically, we're still trying to get a handle on the hip joints and the knee joints, and
Okay.
also
Well, that's
how
easy.
far the head turns.
The knee bone's connected to the hip bone.
Hip bone.
Oh, that's crazy.
So-
Yeah.
Let's
I mean,
remove.
you're
I
welcome.
didn't know that.
Yes. Let's remove helmet. Spin around. Let's take a look at our head.
He's inevitable. No, you know what? That was good, and I'm angry at you for not liking it.
See, you got pretty full range of motion. If we're looking at a downward glance, we can do it. You can do a bit of straight on look. Okay? Since we've got that removed, let's do our portrait swap. We can show that. All right. And you're concerned about the hip. Okay, so this is going to have pretty much the same range of motion. A little bit more on the shall we say look up, a little bit more on the upward on the neck on this one.
Oh, he's really mad about seeing someone coming.
This is the looking up and seeing his ship's not.
Yeah,
there
things are not going well right now.
Things are not going well. I don't want to. I am so concerned about spoiling anything. But if you haven't seen this movie yet,
You haven't seen this movie yet.
you
You really don't want
Are
to.
you? Yeah. Are you watching this? How did you find us?
How did you find us? Okay, so does that answer every question we have about neck and head joint? Okay, because of the armor here, we're not having a huge amount of neck back and forth and side to side. That's going to be pretty much locked in a straight on position.
Yeah, it kind of is like football pads almost.
Exactly. Yeah. Think of it that way. That I mean, particularly with that, like you mentioned that it does have that very big shoulder football pad kind of look. All right, I'm going to remove the shoulder parts, lift the arms a little. As I said, that's ratcheted. Let's go up on there. Didn't you work out with a guy that looked a little like this earlier today?
Yeah, man, these guys are. Yeah, I know, like 5 of these guys.
So let's take a look. That's
they're
big beefy flexed version there. But you wanted to know about hip, waist. Now you're going to get a little bit more on the waist action here because this being solid, this is really where all of your motion is going to come from. It's all down in this area, okay?
Well, he's so big too.
Yes.
You could say he's inevitable bulky.
Wow, I
was
like
the best
everything
one
about
yet,
this.
best one yet.
So we do have motion back and forth. It's not necessarily ratcheted in the front, but it does have a very distinct feel as you keep going. You'll know when you're at it. Ratchet in the legs, in the hip. Okay, out to the side about yay. Knee.
I always call this the field goal position when you do this.
Yes.
Like it looks like he's about to. I'm making a lot of sports analogies, which probably not.
That's fine. That's fine. But we're talking about that.
That's how you should do them, just running.
Yeah.
Like that's how you want. That's how you want your pose, just like the Forrest Gump sprint.
It's coming up on that big sport game. It would be a good time to do it.
Sporty ball?
The sporty bowl?
The sporty ball.
The sporty bowl? All right. Let's talk a little bit about, I know somebody said...
He's so big it looks like you're changing a baby.
Yes.
Like it's just such a big toy that when you kind of like laid him down, I was
laid him
like,
down
oh,
to
yeah, you gotta...
to do that. And I would, if I'm going to be moving the hips or legs or anything like that, give yourself a sturdy base when you're doing that versus just straight up. But I can do a flat sit like so.
Oh.
All right, let's take a look at that. All right,
Yeah, fix that. Yeah, there you
I'm
go.
gonna take that off.
He looks like he's having a tantrum.
Yeah, this is very-
in the supermarket.
But let's now drop the knee down. Okay. The armor on shins and this and it does have a little bit of flexibility because it's attached to an undersuit. Okay. And so by having that, you get a little bit more play.
Yeah. Anytime they can give you that little bit extra, like especially for a toy this big, that's sort of this size, that every little extra mobility or flexibility is very helpful. Oh, yeah. It's getting those squats in.
Well,
Building up those quads.
I'm going to actually try and do it.
There you go. Oh yeah,
Here,
look
and
at that.
I don't have anything to put him on, but
Oh,
if
that
I wanted
works.
that kind of bummed out and let's see, can I do this right now? Swap out that hand. All right.
Okay. Here, why don't you try to angle that towards the camera?
Can I put this a little more front? No.
Yeah, man. You
Move
can
stuff.
do it.
I'm going to move stuff around a little bit.
Want some books or something?
Well, I
Is that
just
right?
wanted something to give him the height. If you'd have
Yeah, that
something
thing
or
looks
go
like
into
it's
your
working pretty
if you
well.
go into your garden or aquarium store or something and find just the right stone to
Yeah.
kind of lean him on to give that. You could do that.
Yeah, you'd probably want the other head, right? The
Yep.
not angry head. You want him like to have like the stoic.
The stoic.
Waiting
So
head.
let's put that one back on. But you do have that option, which is pretty cool. I
Yeah.
mean, originally I didn't know if he would do this, so this is actually a first for me to try it this way. I played with him a little bit earlier to kind of get an idea of it, but I did not try this.
That's
stance.
honestly, that would be the pose. Were I to have this piece, this would be the pose that I would want to go for.
That's
because
cool.
I think that's probably the coolest visual that we get of Thanos is when he's kind of just
Contemplative.
sitting there waiting.
Yeah, he's waiting for it all. Again, I talked about how the shoulders do have an R and an L, so they'll pop on like so. There you go. That's I kind of dig that. That's neat to see that he can do that. So I am going to put our guy. You can hear those ratchets. Put him back in a more standing position. It's almost with how large this figure is. When you're posing, when you're working with the lower leg, it almost feels like a quarter scale. Almost feels like a quarter scale figure with how big he is. But next we're going to talk about an important accessory that he comes with. All right, so let's set him here. And
Is he going to be blocking your visual?
We'll see in a second here. I'm going to move turntable a little bit over. And here is our one big important accessory. All right.
There we go.
Okay. It is our gauntlet. Now we have two options as far as doing either a closed fist or an articulated finger. All right. Both are going to swap out on the wrist point of this. Pop off like so. On the back of it there is a small panel. You will lift that up. Underneath is your battery compartment. Only tool I used was that small screwdriver. Right there, you've got 3 batteries that will come with it. The screwdriver doesn't, so if you've watched our show, hopefully you've gone and picked one up. We're going to turn that on, place that
panel
back on, and then we're now going to we're going to do the closed fist first, and then we're going to do articulated next. All right, let's take a look at what our closed fist looks like there. If we are able to dim the lights down in the studio a little bit. Want to talk a little bit about the way the light up works. Where you saw the light point in it is right underneath the yellow, the yellow stone. And you know all the different
soul stone.
Exactly.
Right?
That is going to be your brightest. The blues underneath there are going to get probably secondary and the brightest over into the, but all of them, even the thumb green one, does have some nice glow.
The time stone.
Yep. And I know that was a concern that, it loses a little bit of light the further away it gets from the light source. But that center light source is really...
Yeah, they really amped it up.
There it is on its own. As you can see, that's a torch. Now we're going to put it in the articulated, and this kind of surprised me, is that they're even brighter in the articulated.
Yeah.
Even brighter.
Is it because they're closer? Or
no, they're in the same spot. I'm not exactly sure why that is, other than perhaps it could be thinner in the
maybe.
in the area because the other is done as a formed fist. But nonetheless, nice and bright on this open piece here. Articulated up. Now we can turn our lights back on if we like. Because the next question that somebody might have is, can we do the snap?
Yeah.
That was a question.
Can he do the snap? We can get close. All right.
Can you snap, Guy?
Actually, he does it with second finger. Second finger for Thanos. I did a first.
I can normally.
But yes. So our hope is that we could do this kind of. Trying to do it where we're by camera. It would be to do that the second finger and thumb. We are going to be able to get somewhat close. All right. If we take a look at the turntable, we can get that pretty close. It's pre-snap. Right before the snap. I think to get the full snap, it would actually probably have to be molded in just that. But
I would think so. The way they would.
But it is neat to have the articulated one like that. One thing I plan on doing, I like him how we have him displayed here, but we have a few more figures from Endgame coming out that I think this particular accessory would look really cool with.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great one to have on there. Obviously, it does go on to the character. If we like, we can throw it on there. Do you want fist or open hand? You want the bright open hand?
Yeah.
Okay, bright open hand it is. Bree, how are we doing on questions? I know a lot of it was, can he do this? Can he do this?
You covered a lot of the preliminary questions with, hey, move the arms.
We did get an interesting fun fact from Terry,
Mm-hmm.
host of Strike a Pose.
Shout out to Terry Smith.
He said the The stones on the fist gauntlet are further from the light source than the stones on the articulated gauntlet by nearly 1/4 inch.
That explains.
And that is science.
I mean, it's just,
And I appreciate that he's here to give us those science ones.
Yes.
Shout out to How to Be a Poser's Terry Smith. Guy is a massive fan.
I mean,
I'm more
Terry
of a
really knows
friend.
his stuff, and he's very, very knowledgeable. And even on, there's one that he just did that talks a little bit about figures that aren't necessarily huge and dynamic as far as their action, but how you can still bring life into them, that he does with a figure, and I thought was fantastic.
And he's got that silky smooth voice.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's
Just lull
it's
ya.
like jazz.
It's
It's jazz. But if we turn the lights down again, if you want to see how it looks with the, let's give it a bit of a bend and not full crimped fingers. But let's take a look. Okay. Now, one last pose we're going to do with that is kind of the upturned arm with it, okay? We can get about 90, a little under, with
the elbow.
With the elbow. If you have the other release, that one came with a swap out arm that had that. I like this a little bit more. But I like to have it with the range of motion. However, I'm going to want to do it. But that one had that. This is a little bit different.
Is it possible for the gauntlet hand to hold the blade?
You know what? I can give that a whirl.
Yeah.
If
Like
people-
the blade.
Yes.
Seems kind of like putting a hat on a hat, really. You know?
How many? Yeah.
What if they, like you
the
have the
hell
most
is that?
powerful cosmic weapon on the planet, and you're like, well, let's put a little toothpick in
Well,
it.
you know, he's more perfectly balanced if he has the gauntlet in one hand and the blade in the other.
But you want him to be, yes.
But we
See
want
if
to
you
know.
I
You
guess-
know, but that's what we like here.
I think that gauntlet's a little
Yeah.
wide. It might not grab the handle. Yeah, man, that would be like, talk about a bayonet, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty large. If you want to attempt to pose it that way,
I wouldn't.
let's see. I can get 3 fingers and the thumb around it. I can kind of tweak it at an angle to do it. Not all for tight gripping, but if that's the look you wanted right there, let's dim those lights. You can. I'm not going to make my
Our poor cameraman.
our
just-
poor cameraman
he's running
who,
laps, turning
will-
off the lights.
I-
He's so livid and angry.
there you go with it next to it. But this is really neat. I love them with the armor. I'm okay. In fact, I'm completely fine with that you're not moving the chest and torso a ton, because you wouldn't a knight in armor or anything like that. You wouldn't, and he is just menacing and
I'm not seeing a lot of old medieval knights doing like
not
downward-facing dog.
doing crunches. But a big honking guy.
I think we just got our answer of gauntlet holding blade.
Yeah, well, he can only hold it for so long. But I dig it. I think that's. I like it a lot. I like him without the Infinity Gauntlet on there, but I'm glad that they put it in there. And I think the light up feature on it is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Particularly on the articulated one.
But yeah, you'd probably pose him just
No,
regular,
the one that we just did, which was kind of him
holding the blade and the
holding the blade, kind of or composed.
Yeah.
I guess we'll say is probably what I'm going to go with now that I can see that he can do that,
Yeah.
because it's really neat. So
Yeah, that's good. I like that. How are we doing with questions?
how we doing,
questions,
Bree?
comments?
So far, we've kind of answered.
I'm
all
so
the
glad that we did.
questions.
We went from we have so many questions.
Well, we got
did.
through
We-
a
we
lot.
hopefully did it.
But the thing is sometimes you'll get a piece that's
Yes.
crazy art, like a Spider-Man or something like that, and just all the different ways of posing takes a while. But in this one, the character is such a very imposing character and very large and very powerful character. But it's sort of, you're not going to be posing with swinging from the swinging from the skyline of Manhattan.
Yeah.
Man, what a imposing and beautiful piece that thing is.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, when you look at this is kind of a neat thing, and Jeff, you haven't seen this. When I remove the gauntlet arm, just to see how they do that.
Oh, look at that.
The silicone skin with the under.
Yeah, so it's
You
like,
have
it's
an
like
endo.
wrapped over it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of wrapped over it, and it's got that soft feel to it. So.
Guy, are you? How do you feel about the rubber and the arms? Will that maintain for a long time?
I think so. I mean, I think early in the design and work of it, but we've done the rubber skin for a few years now, and we've made really big strides in what can be done with that. So I think so. I'm not worried that in a year it's going to be brittle and cracking. Again, Hot Toys will tell you, and myself and Terry and others would and many would tell you that, well, yeah, don't put them in a direct sunbeam or right next to the heat register or anything like that. But I think standard display mode, shall we say, you're going to be fine. I'm not concerned that that's going to crack apart.
Yeah.
I'm not worried.
Now, color-wise, is this
if you have the other version, if you have the
Infinity War?
Infinity War version, that one has a bit more of a lavender purple. It's a little brighter in the purple.
Yeah.
This one here is a little darker, a little more toward the brown tone.
Like an earthier tone.
An earthier tone.
Okay.
And, when I did the research for this, I really watched Endgame. I probably should have watched them back to back
Yeah,
to see.
so instead of 3 hours,
it's really,
do 6?
if it's really but it could be the lighting, or it could really be a bit of mood. But nonetheless, this has a little bit more of that darker brown tone.
Guy, I adore you for that very specific reason.
I will go home and check that out.
A 3 hour, you're like, I really wanted to study the skin tone differences, and it's like,
Well, with this
yeah,
one,
man, but it's also,
Well, with this one here, I did want to, because I knew he was big in the armor, but I wanted to know, and I knew that those of you watching would probably, can I reenact this shot, this pose, this thing? So the one that would be most important for me to do would be that contemplative sit down, I'm inevitable. And to be able to do that, I think is really neat. I have the option of just having him look really cool and menacing as he is standing here like this, or I can do something like that as well. So,
Do you think that this Thanos figure would be able to carry Thor like in the beginning of Infinity War, or would that be too heavy?
Anytime you're going to have a figure like hold another figure, I think we're talking like. Jeff was saying earlier, kind of the skull holding ones and things like that. You would want to have a dynamic stand on the other one as well. That's it's even when we did the Bucky and Rocket, it's as much as you could do it. That's minuscule balance points.
I saw somebody new in the comments call you Obadiah Stane, and I'm like, you
Oh.
must be new because we have covered that.
Yeah, well, what we're going to have to do is eventually ask them if they think I should keep it or not.
I mean, the episode where you wore a suit, I was like, all right, this is like a bit, right? Like it was.
No, that was fun, and that was because, as you said, Terry was in town, and I wanted to dress appropriately for it. So, but we can always try that again.
That works.
Particularly with an Iron Man character, if we see some more of the Iron Man figures.
Thanos did first appear in Iron Man number 55, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think it was 55.
I think.
Yeah.
Terry says
Not quite as
keep the
intense
beard.
in this, huh?
Terry says keep it.
Okay,
Well, then Guy's gonna keep
then
it.
we're going to keep it.
If Terry
and we're
says
we're going to
don't-
hope that they do the figure, the Iron Man 1 figure with it.
He's gonna do a how to be a trimmer.
How to be
Where
a
he's gonna
trimmer.
Teach him how to trim the beard.
Exactly. But this is a really neat figure. If you don't have the other Thanos, I like this one. I actually think both are great. But amazing work. That armor just adds something to it. The character is imposing in all times he's introduced. But this, like that, is that full-on battle. I've had enough. I'm taking you all out.
I'm sick of this.
Yeah, and that was great. When I rewatched it, and he doesn't, I never take it personal, except now. And I like that with what we've got on him. So he's a great figure. Add him to your shelf or multiple shelves as based on height.
Well, in that case, Guy, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Again, you can check out this amazing 6-scale Thanos from Endgame at side.show/Unseal Thanos. So check that out. Thanos. You can actually say both. Doesn't matter. It's fine. Or at least I can say both because
He's not here.
I do what I want. That being said, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you, Bree, to my left, your right, on the ones and twos for taking all your questions, comments, and concerns. Don't forget, we are here every week, for the most part, doing one of these, so don't be afraid to come back. Guy, thank you so much, as always, for coming here
guys.
and playing with a toy and walking us through it. I love it so much. We have so much to offer. Don't be afraid to hit like and subscribe on YouTube and hit that notifications bell so you can get all of the videos that we post. There's so much great stuff.
So much.
So much great stuff.
So much.
I do a lot of it. I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. But again, don't be afraid to do that. Thank you all. Thank you so much. If we want to do one last look over at the toy as it's being rotated, I think that would be a good idea. Look at him. Oh, look at him. He is inevitable. So thank you all so much for watching. We appreciate you so much. And don't forget, let your geek side show. Hey, did you like that video? Be sure to subscribe by clicking the S icon on your screen and click that bell icon to be notified whenever a new video is posted. If you'd like more info on the items featured in this video, click the link provided under Product Info. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to let your geek side show.